Before you watch this, watch the prenatal intro and disclaimer video. The link is below in the notes section. Hey, I'm Helen with Floating Yoga School here at Wild Thing Yoga in Bend, Oregon, guiding you through a prenatal flow today. This is designed to ease discomfort in your body, allow yourself to create some space, gentle stretches, and also connect mind and body breath and connect to your baby. You can do this at any point in your pregnancy. As you can tell, my friend Leanne and I are at very different places. I'm about 35 weeks along, so third trimester, and Leanne is at 17 weeks, so in her second trimester. And you can also practice this when you're not pregnant if you just want a gentle stretch, a gentle bit of movement. I'm at a slight angle, so you can see when I demonstrate kind of where alignment will be. Leanne is head on, so feel free to follow either one of us. And hopefully I can get through all of this. If I get a little winded, just making some space for baby here. Cool. Oh yeah, we've got blocks today. So I definitely recommend practicing with blocks, especially when you're pregnant, and especially as things start to get a little bit bigger. Having two blocks is really helpful. I like these cork blocks that we have because they're super sturdy, and on the tallest setting, I can really feel like I can put some weight on them and feel safe that they're not going to fall over. If you've got foam blocks and you feel great about those, use those. If you don't have blocks, you might do a sturdy water bottle, a stack of books, something to bring the ground up, and that'll help you maneuver around your big baby belly. Sweet. We're going to start seated today. So find a comfortable seated position. This will be different for everyone. It might be cross-legged, sitting on your block, sitting on a bolster, sitting on your feet. You can find a really tall spine. Close your eyes. And take these first couple of moments to scan through your body. So notice what's happening from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Tune in. And then begin to notice your breath. One of the most beautiful things about practicing yoga when you're pregnant is that connection to your body, connection to your baby. And a big way to feel connected and to feel present is through your breath. Notice the length and the depth of your inhales and your exhales. And if it's comfortable, you can create an ujjayi breath, which is in and out through your nose. That slight constriction in the back of your throat. That can be warming, so if not, you can breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. Just see if you can lengthen each breath and really notice each breath. Your eyes can be open or softly closed. We'll take a few more rounds of breath. And if your eyes are closed, gently blink them open. Bring your hands to your legs, your thighs, or your knees, and begin to make some circles with your body. So slight lean forward to the side and then back. Just creating a little bit of energy flow here in a circular motion. We'll take one more round in this direction, and then switch and circle in the other direction. Just starting to awaken some energy, connect to your roots, whatever's touching the ground, or your seed, and then also connect into that area around your sacrum, low back, and belly, where your baby is. One more round in this direction. And come back toward a neutral spine. Hands can stay on your thighs or always come to the ground. We'll take a seated cow-cat. So as you inhale, think of reaching your heart forward, shoulders back, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, you can press into your hands, tuck your chin, a little bit of rounding. And you may not have a ton of space. It might just be chin to chest. We'll move like that. Inhale, reach your heart forward, lengthen your spine, shoulders back. Exhale, slightly round. Think of the space between your shoulder blades reaching behind you. 3 more times. Breathe in, lift your heart, lengthen. Seated cow. Breathe out, round. Seated cat. 2 more times with your breath. Last one. Come back toward your neutral spine. Find an eagle arm, so right arm below your left. Hands can cross and hug opposite shoulders, or maybe your hands connect palm to palm or back of hand to back of hand. And then any movement here, it might be a slight up and down. I like to lift and lower. It might be a rock side to side, or even making some circles with your elbows. And this is an awesome stretch. When you give birth, especially if you're breastfeeding a lot, there's a lot of rounding forward, and this will help create some space and openness through your upper back, through your shoulders. Open your arms out wide, take a big breath in, and then switch, left arm below your right. Same thing, find any movement. We'll take one more round of breath. Open your arms wide, big inhale. This time exhale, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart. You can lift your chin or keep your head neutral. Just find some opening through your heart space. Same thing here, working into your chest and shoulders in the opposite motion of what we just did. One more deep breath in. And exhale, release. We'll find our way to hands and knees, tabletop position. And you might bring your blocks if you've got them near the top of your mat so they're handy for later. And you can always bring your hands to blocks at any point. So maybe on the lowest setting, you could take your tabletop with hands on blocks. Leanne will do that one and I'll do it without, and you can choose what feels best for you. So here, like we were seated, we're going to start to take some body circles. So moving our weight forward into our fingers, to the right, back, and then over to the left, or whichever direction you choose to start. You can sway your hips, really get into it. Hands and knees is an awesome position to be in for your baby, especially as you progress in your pregnancy. I've heard people say that this is a great way to turn your baby if they're not already head down. So if they're in the breech position, let's do one more circle in this direction. And then switch opposite direction. It also creates a little bit of release for your low back. So when you're pregnant and you're carrying all that extra weight in your belly, it can put some tension on your low back, really pull. And here we're just using gravity and a little bit of motion to allow that release and that weight to come off your low back. Nice. Come back towards center. Find a neutral spine. So think of stacking your shoulders right above your wrists, spread your fingers wide, and hips right above your knees. And you can always take your knees wider, your hands wider if that feels better. Some simple cows and cats. Inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, reach your heart forward. And then exhale, press the ground away, chin to chest, hollow out as much as you can. For me, there's not a ton of space left. We'll move back and forth. It's going to create mobility through your spine, maybe relieve some tension, and just start to gently warm up your body. You can move fast, you can move slow, you can add in extra stuff. Let's do one more round. Back toward a neutral spine. Draw your knees together so they touch. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. Take a full breath in. And then as you exhale, cross your foot behind your left off your mat to the side. So toes can be down, press your heel back, and look over your left shoulder as much as feels comfortable. So through this stretch, we're creating space to the side of your hip, getting into your right waist and ribs. Because of the belly issue, or the big belly through pregnancy, a lot of that forward folding or back bending isn't accessible. So I find, I don't know if you agree, Leanne, already, but some side stretches feel really nice to create space. Awesome. We'll come back to center. Lift your foot behind you, breathe in, and then exhale, take your foot out to the right. Toes point forward. I'm going to use my blocks. You certainly don't have to. We're going to come to standing on our left knee. So this is where the blocks can be handy, kind of press you up. Find a little gate pose. Right hand slides down your right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Again, working into that side body, where back and forward bending may not feel as great. This nice side stretching is really awesome to create space, to feel a little bit more open. One more breath in. Exhale, come back towards center. We're going to take it to the other side. So working into a modified side plank, I'm going to use my block on the lowest setting. You can always bring your hands to the ground. And then right arm reaches up. You can stay up, stacking shoulders and hips. You can reach your right arm over your head. If you want a little bit more, you can lift your right foot or even kick your right foot back and take a little bit of a back bend or quad stretch. Keep breathing. Notice where you feel this. And one more full round of breath. And then slowly release. If you've got your foot, release it down. Come back toward your hands and knees. Keep your right leg extended out to the side. So you can always bring your hands back to your blocks or just to the ground. And then press back. For some of us, this may not feel great. Think of like a child's pose with your leg extended. I'm not going all the way down in child's pose because for me at this point, it doesn't feel awesome. So I stay a little bit more upright, but I'm working into inner thighs there. And if it doesn't feel good on your knee or your ankle, you can always tuck your knee under, take a regular child's pose, or just sit back. Awesome. Come back to tabletop, hands and knees. And we'll take that sequence to the other side. So start with your knees together. Extend your left leg back, breathe in. As you exhale, cross your foot over to the right. Look over your right shoulder, find that space in your left side body. Extend your foot behind you, inhale. As you exhale, take your foot out to the left, toes point forward, and then again come to stand. So feel free to use your blocks, one or both, to kind of guide you up. Both arms to the sky. Exhale to gate pose, left hand down your left leg, right arm stretches up and over. Try to relax your shoulders as much as you can. They tend to crawl up to your ears. Always check in with your breath. Remember, if it's choppy, back off. Don't go quite as deep. If it's even and smooth, maybe you go a little further. Maybe just stay and breathe. One more breath in. Exhale, come back to center. Take it to your side plank variation. Right hand to the ground or to your block, off to the side. Left arm stretches up. Allow that stack of your hips and shoulders. Same options as before. Hang out here, or maybe extend your left arm over your head. Maybe float your left foot, or even find your left foot. The balance works for a little back bend, quad stretch. And one of the things I always remind myself as I'm practicing now, being pregnant, is that my body's already working overtime. So there's no need to do the most or as much as I used to do in my practice. Give yourself that grace and that space to slow down. If you've got your foot, release it. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, back toward your tabletop, hands to blocks or to your mat. Keep your leg out to the side and then press back to your version of child's pose with your leg extended. Breathe into your inner thighs. If your head is close to the ground, relax your forehead down. You can always bring your head to a block. And then slowly lift to tabletop. Reset your left knee. Find your blocks if you've got them. If not, no big deal. Again, lowest setting, and bring them about shoulder distance. So just like Leanne has her blocks on her hands in tabletop, we're going to go from here into a downward facing dog. And by using the blocks, we create a little bit more space as we begin to step forward. That allows it to be a little bit more comfortable. So just like your regular down dog and upside down V, let your head and neck relax. Feel free to pedal out. If down dog is not comfortable, you can totally do this from a tabletop, and I'll stay here. Nice. You're gonna step your right foot forward. So if you'd like, you can sweep your right leg up. Otherwise, just step it forward between your blocks. If your belly's pretty big like mine, that might be a little awkward step. You can always bring your blocks up to a higher setting. Drop your back knee. We'll just find a little bit of movement. So hands to blocks on any level. I'm at the highest, Leanne's at the lowest. You choose what feels best for you, and feel free to switch Leanne if you'd like. We're gonna take a little lean forward, get into your hip flexor of your left leg. Yeah, and then a little lean back, get into your hamstrings of your front leg. So just starting to find some gentle movement here, back and forth. You might inhale forward, lengthen. Exhale back to stretch. 3 more times. So we never want to overdo a stretch. In your pregnancy, you release more of a hormone called relaxin that allows your joints to open, prepare for labor and delivery. You don't want to injure yourself by overdoing it. Nice. After your last one, come back to that deep bend in your front knee and take your version of a lizard pose. So shimmy your right foot out to the side. Both hands or both blocks inside. You can stay more upright. Let your hips sink. You can drop to your forearms. If there's something else you know you like here, feel free to go there. Try to keep your shoulders out of your ears, your spine long. Allow your breath to gently move into your hips, low back, inner thighs, groin, wherever you feel this. Last full round of breath. Slowly come back onto your hands, on your blocks, on the ground, any setting. Step your right foot back for down dog or back to tabletop, whatever was more convenient or comfortable. And we're just gonna take it to the other side. So as you're ready, left foot steps forward. You can drop your back knee and start to find those lunge pulses. Sink your hips down, reach your heart forward, breathe in. Exhale, hips back. Left leg works towards straight, never force it. Move with your breath. If there's a spot that feels really good, you are always welcome to stay. Breathe into it. And maybe 2 more. Beautiful. Come back to your bend. Find your lizard on this pose. Shimmy your foot out. Both hands or both blocks inside your left foot. And as much as is comfortable, allow your hips to sink, shoulders back, lengthen your spine. Beautiful. Two more rounds of breath. Find your way back to either your tabletop or your downward facing dog, using your blocks or not, depending on what's comfortable for you. And then we'll make our way to a forward fold at the top of your mat. So I'm simply going to step up. Leanne might step or walk up. I like my feet pretty wide at this point. They can be hip distance, they can be together. If you still have the space, you can let your head and neck go. And I still am using tons of blocks here, tons of support. If your hands reach the ground comfortably, great. If not, no big deal. Find a halfway lift, hands to your blocks or to your shins. Lengthen your heart forward, roll your shoulders back. And then as you exhale, we'll take this to Malasana squat. Toes turn out slightly. Bend your knees and sink your hips. And I'm going to use a block. You can use 1, 2, none. Hands to your heart. Think about opening up through your chest, really broadening your collarbones, relax your shoulders. This is also a great pose to prep for labor, delivery, create openness, space, and health in your pelvis. If you find that you are super flexible and you're really dumping in and kind of relaxing close to the ground, maybe you can hug in, engage muscles to kind of lift up and out slightly. Take one more breath in. Exhale, release your hands down. Find your way to standing. So you might use your blocks, you might bend your knees, you might roll up or walk your hands up your legs. Doesn't matter how you get there. Feet can be hip distance or together. We'll take a standing half moon to get again into our side bodies. So both arms to the sky. Interlace your fingers, let your pointer fingers reach up like a steeple mudra or Kali mudra. Lengthen, breathe in. As you exhale, stretch up and over to your right. Let your hips lean a little bit left. Try and relax your shoulders. And balance could be tricky for you, so feet can always go wider. Notice if you're leaning way back, if you're leaning way forward. Try and keep weight even between your feet and keep it into more of a side bend. Back to center, inhale. Exhale, up and over to your left. Same thing here, find length first and then depth. Come back to center. Release your hands. Find a standing position. We're going to step back to a high crescent lunge. So right foot's going to step back. Left knee is bent right above your ankle. Right heel is high. If that's no good on your balance, feet can go wider, come closer together lengthwise, or you can always take a warrior one with your back heel down. Reach both arms to the sky. Full breath in. Exhale, cactus, your arms open up your chest. 2 more times like that. Breathe in. Cactus, exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Reach both arms to the sky. Open to warrior 2, so pivot your back heel flat. And then adjust your feet as you need. Front heel in line with your back heel or arch. Front knee right above your ankle, arms reach wide. We're going to inhale to star pose with your heels and your toes out, arms wide. And then as you exhale to a goddess squat, hands to your heart, bend your knees. Take a little peek down. Make sure knees aren't too far in. They're kind of tracking over your second toe. If you need to adjust your knees or your toes, do so. Find, again, that openness through your pelvis. Hands can stay at your heart or come to your thighs and take a little shoulder dip. Get into your chest, your front of your shoulder. Back to center. Let's take star again. Legs straight, arms reach wide. Breathe in. Exhale, hands to your heart, and then turn back to face the front of your mat. Adjust your feet for warrior 1. So you might pivot your left heel out a little bit. I'm going to bring my blocks a little bit sideways just so you can see. Ideally, right hip is pulling forward. Bend your left knee. Both arms to the sky. See if you can press weight into the outside edge of your right foot. So you're not collapsing into your arch. Relax your shoulders and feel the stretch through the front of your right hip, maybe the back of your right leg, calf, Achilles. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart, step your right foot forward, and we'll just switch sides. Left foot back, starting in crescent lunge. Both arms to the sky. Even out your hips, bend your front knee, relax your shoulders. Deep breath in. Exhale, cactus, open up. 2 more. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, cactus. Last one. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, hands to the sky. Open to warrior 2, back heel pivots flat. Find your feet again, that nice alignment. Settle in. Feel that strength. You're a strong mama warrior. Next, inhale, star pose, heels and toes out, reach wide. Exhale, goddess squat, hands to your heart, bend your knees. And then this time we'll play with lifting one heel and then the other. So right first, then left. Maybe both at the same time. Feel free to explore that. Just working through your feet. Finding a little bit of balance. And again, that openness and mobility through your hips, your pelvis, without overdoing it, not sitting too low. Nice. Star pose. Breathe in, reach high. Exhale, turn and find your warrior one. So kind of turn to the front of your mat, adjust your feet. This time right knee bends, hips point to the front edge of your mat, both arms to the sky. And just go as deep as your body allows. Long spine, relax your shoulders. One more deep breath in. Exhale, hands to your heart, step your left foot forward. Take an inhale, reach both arms to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, let it all go. You might find your blocks again. I'll take my feet wide again. Feel free to soften your knees, create space for your belly, relax your head and neck. And then either hands to the ground or take your blocks with you. Walk your hands as far as you can to your right. Let your hips lean a little bit to your left. Pass through center, take it all the way to the other side, hands left, hips right, or whichever side you didn't do. And back to center. Make your way to a seated position, however you want to get there. One knee down, squat it low. Awesome. Place your feet on the ground so your knees are pointing up to the sky. Hands can come behind you and you can create lots of space between your knees and your belly. Gentle windshield wiper side to side. Flushing out your hip flexors. Getting into those joints. And then a super supported, or basic I should say, reverse table. Hands behind you, fingers point toward you. If that's okay on your wrists, they can always point away if that's not. Press through your feet. You may barely lift your hips, that's great. You may take your hips pretty high. If your head feels good as it is, keep it there. If you want to gently release back without flinging it, maybe head in line with your spine. One more deep breath in, lift your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, lower down. Awesome. Extend your legs. We'll take a supported Shavasana. So, two options. Laying on your side with one block underneath your head, hugging another blocker between your knees, I don't know if you have a preference, or like a supported fish with a block below your shoulders and a block below your head. So it can be lowest setting, it can be second setting for that supported fish, it can even be long ways. Leanne, you like second setting? Cool. And then the second block comes behind your head. So we'll both show that one. And then I'll transition to my side so you can see that too. So for me, it helps to come down to my forearms, find the block. You want it right below your shoulder blades, middle upper back, I would say. And the other block supports your head. And then your legs can be long, knees can be bent, knees can fall out to the side. So that's option one for your Shavasana. Another option is to take it onto your left side and just place a block below your head as a little pillow. And typically after 20 weeks, some doctors will recommend not to be flat on your back, because what happens is the weight of your belly starts to get a little bit heavier as the baby grows bigger, compresses your vena cava, can make you out of breath, dizzy, or even cause you to pass out. Happened to me almost once. So I'm definitely now on one side versus a flat back. But this elevated position that Leanne's in is a really great option too, because it keeps some of that weight off of that vena cava. So in your Shavasana, just take a moment to check back in with your body. You might choose to bring your hands to your belly, connect to baby. Notice how you're feeling. Notice your breath. It's probably a little lighter again. Notice any thoughts that are coming up without judging them or chasing them. Really allow yourself to be here, present, supported, and relaxed. And you can say as long as you like. If there are any mantras or affirmations you like to say, One of the ones that I've been reminding myself throughout pregnancy is that my body knows what it's doing, and so to trust the process. So if you'd like to stay longer, you can. If you're ready, start to find some little movements, wiggles, or stretches. Arms can go over your head, or you can turn to one side. And with your eyes closed, make your way to any comfortable seated position. Feel free to find your blocks again, cross your legs, sit on your feet. Relax your shoulders, lengthen your spine. Hands either together at heart center or hands to your belly. One last little check-in. And then gently bow your head. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, guys.